Dear students, welcome. Today we will go for one of the grammar topics, that is report writing. So, as you all aware that the organizations, the governments, our everyday affairs will see most of our business activities, or even the media will totally see depend upon the reports, and the reports have become part and parcel of our life. Every day we will be going through several reports, and we'll also be preparing certain reports. So report writing is very important skill that you need to acquire. So we'll go details, we will go through what exactly is report writing and how should we prepare reports, where all we find the reports and how reports should be say prepared, and more particularly we will go for media reports also. So how to understand from the media report and how to prepare media reports also. So let me share my screen. See, in report writing we have business reports and media reports. In fact, reports are everywhere, as you are aware. Reports, what reports that you have come across so far? From your early age, you have come across the progress reports when you go for a medical examination like blood test or x-ray and all that. So these reports you will be getting. So everywhere you will find the reports, isn't it? So in each and every department, whether it is government or private or any organization, everything runs on reports only, because physically we may not be present. All that data should not should be analyzed and presented in a proper way. So having a report is of great use. So that way, in everyday function also we need to have this report writing. So what is a report? So today the focus is on business reports and media reports. So what is a report? A report is a formal statement of facts for a specific audience to meet specific needs. That means reports are prepared not for general. Reports are prepared to a specific audience. Suppose if you are working in a business firm, so you will be handling with your own clients or with your own boss. So isn't it? So the communication between you and your boss is normally through the reports. And when you are communicating something to your subordinate, also you are sending through the reports. So that means you have a specific audience here, and you are preparing that report for some kind of specific report, specific need. So what is a report? Actually, a report is a formal statement of facts. You are presenting the facts in a systematic order, undertaking the specific need, and you are preparing it for a specific audience. That means reports are prepared so for a specific need and for a specific audience. It is all about the facts. That means it is a kind of statement of facts. So report is a Latin word reportera, which means carry back. That means you are carrying back. That means you are having some repository, which is, that means some carrying back information with you. So reporting is plays a key role in organizations, because whatever business that you are doing, your CEO or your boss or all your people who are in a higher cadre, they will be looking, and she will coming to a conclusion just based on your reports, isn't it? If at all they want to know certain problem, and they want to know certain details about it also, they may be asking you the reports. So the entire business organization runs on reports only, reports and reports and reports everywhere. So that way, organizations will run on reports, even the governments will run on reports. Even if you take a college, a hospital, everywhere you will find the reports. If you go to a hospital, you need to have a specific details about a specific thing. That means if you go for a for fever examination, for the suffering from fever, and you need to take some reports. That means what is your temperature, what is your glucose levels, what is your oxygen levels, and all that they will check, isn't it? And if you are going for more complicated problems, the more number of reports are there. Based on the report, the doctor will come to a conclusion that what all about. And even after that also, preserving them is also what we call record keeping. For record keeping also we need some reports, isn't it? So that way, whatever you take, any organization, any, see, anything that you take, everything is based on the report. So reports have become the part and parcel of the organization. So they are very, very important. So we need to know how a report should be. So before writing a report, you should have these things in your mind. That is, reporting is not something else, but it is only a formal statement of facts. You are presenting only the facts. Fiction has no role to play here. So you can't anticipate something and write. Whatever you are giving on the paper or whatever you are presenting must be full of facts, isn't it? And it must be conventional in form, and moreover it meets the needs of a specific audience, because we are preparing reports for specific audience and specific needs only, and which includes analysis and interpretation of data. You have some data with you, the data of the facts and figures, and you are presenting them, you are analyzing them and presenting them, and you are also interpreting them. So which contains the conclusion reached, it should also have a conclusion, and it may include suggestions and recommendations, because you are at the ground grassroots level. So what is happening at the grassroots level? If your company CEO wants to know, yeah, your superior wants to know, you are giving the facts and figures, at the same time the suggestions and recommendations. So that way report writing is extremely useful. So these are the things that we need to be very, very much careful, very much aware of it. First is, a report is only a statement of facts. It is conventional in form, and it is prepared for specific audience, and which includes analysis and interpretation of data, which contains conclusions that you have reached, and it can also accommodate suggestions and recommendations. So this is all about a report. So different types of reports that we come across, they are based on the need and audience, the periodicity, communicative form, nature, scope, and so on. So we find different reports are of different nature and different structures. We can't say that this should be the report structure. So it all depends on the need and the audience. See, what is the need of preparing a report? We don't prepare reports only for the sake of reports, isn't it? So there should be a need for that particular, to meet that need. We take up some data, analyze it, and present it. That is what we do. So basis of the need and what is the audience that you are preparing for, to whom you are preparing this report, that's there. And periodicity, how often it should be. Usually there will be monthly reports, there will be everyday reports, sometimes every minute report is also there, because in a business you need to update every time, isn't it? So that way, if you take for exchange and all other business, that's the best example for you. Every minute, seconds, in a fraction of seconds also the data is being updated and updated. So it all depends on the kind of audience, and to what purpose that you have prepared report is very, very important. And a periodical report, that means it may be every week you are supposed to send a report on the activities that you have done, or else it may be quarterly, or it may be, say, fortnightly, or it may be a yearly report. So all that, it all depends on the periodicity, and it is a communicative form. See, the form of sending the report, the mode of communication is also important. So depending on the mode of communication also, reports can be say different. And the nature of reports are something different. Some reports are prepared only for some one time, and some reports are prepared periodically, and some reports are prepared only at the end of the activity. So that way, the nature and scope of the reports are different. Suppose if you are preparing a feasible report, and that feasible report is prepared only before establishing something, because you are asked to check the feasibility of establishing something in some particular area. So that way a feasibility report is prepared. So feasibility report is functionable only for a short time. Once the company has established, it has nothing to do with, then the reports that you are preparing will be periodical report or everyday report, isn't it? So that way it all depends on the nature, scope and periodicity and the audience and also the need. So different types of reports we will see. That way I told you that reports have become part and parcel of business and also our everyday activity. So that way you should be thorough with them. So a report may be, it may be a formal way or informal way. So what is happening here over a phone, you can talk. See, that is oral, or whether you want to give a written, say report or informational reports or analytical report. So whether it is a formal report or informal report. And that means as if you are giving a general information about it, or whether you are giving a formal reply to it, whether it is a oral or written. So informational, analytical, all these things will be there. So written reports for information storage and future reference. When why written reports are having an advantage? So because whatever you have presented will be used for storage, and when we store, when the records are maintained, what will happen? Whenever in future if you are in need of that, you can just go back and refer to it. So that means for future reference also these reports will be extremely useful. As we have just come across, there are some informational reports and analytical reports. What is information and what is analytical? You just want to know certain basic information about it, that is information. What is analytical report? Analytical report needs some exercise. That means you have to take the data, analyze it, find out, set up some parameters, analyze the data and find out the results. And the results can be presented in the form of a report. So that way analytical report needs some more, some exercise over it. Whereas informational report are only reports that they just want to know the basic information, or whatever the specific information they are also asking for, that information you will be getting, and apart from that nothing is there. So written reports are very useful because they can be used for storage, and for future reference also they will be used. It may not be on the paper. Written reports may not be on the paper. Even the email is also a report, isn't it? You can send through all the documents through email. That means we are having e-filing, e-office, and all these things have come into place now. So that means whatever is recordable, whatever is can be kept as a record, is that what we call a written say report. So whatever is presented through oral, that means through mouth, that is oral, isn't it? Well, we have formal and informal reports, isn't it? So that way reports serve different purposes. Written in the, usually reports are written in the past tense form, and the report is based, and the report is prepared based on the facts and observed or data collected. Either you may be collecting some data and analyzing them and presenting them, or you may be finding certain facts and you are jotting down them, and observed facts are presented in the report. So that way again, we need to understand that it is all depends on the need, scope, and the nature, isn't it? So that way we find varied kinds of reports, see, and that are extremely useful in regular transaction, isn't it? So what are business reports? So if you look at the business reports, as we all aware that business runs, business is very dynamic, and so reports are very, very essential. The reports presented, reports prepared and presented are used in business must be authentic. They should be based on facts and facts and facts, isn't it? And you just can't imagine and write. So that way in business reports are must be factual. So an organized written statement of facts. So all business reports are organized and they are written statement of facts. So facts and facts and facts are there, and they are presented in a particular order. It all depends on the type of report that people require or the situation demands, isn't it? So an organized written statement of facts. So business reports are what is the general structure of a business report? The section 1 under the structure of the business report talks about the front part. That means the front page, the opening one. What is that? There should be a title page. So what is the title of that report? So what is the report all about should be written in the form of a title. So there should be a title. So title itself should speak what the report is all about. So when you are giving a title, be careful. So what title should be suitable for it? Just looking at the title, people should understand that this report is about all this. Okay. Then there should be a preface. That means either you can write a preface, or if everybody knows that if it is a routine one, you need not write preface at all. But suppose if you are preparing a report on some purpose and for some activity, and where the little introduction is really needed, then write a preface. So in what was the need, and how you went about it, and see what all that you did and how very important it is, and all that, if at all you want to mention, write in the preface. So that way preface is optional whether you can write or not. But if you are writing a big report, maybe the feasible report and all that, preface is really essential. And the letter of transmittal, that means what are the objectives and what are the highlights. So before see, until you are going through the report from page 1 to the last page, if you are giving your highlights of the report, so looking at the highlights, if they are important and if they just want to go through it, they can go through it. Otherwise if the highlights, they can just jump onto the highlighted see statement. So whatever statement they are really want to know, just they just go to that particular page. So highlights will be helpful, because instead of going through each and every page, every paragraph, so looking at the highlights will give you the results, because it is all about the results and facts, or your analysis will be there. So that will be useful. And what are the, you should mention the objectives, why the report is prepared, what is the purpose. So people can understand, so in what purposes the report was prepared, and how it can be used. So that way objectives or highlights will be there. And it should have the acknowledgements. What is acknowledgement? So whenever you have taken data for from somebody, or else you have collected, and who are all helpful to you in business organization or any other organization, it should be customary to acknowledge the support given by the people, because sometimes you may be taking data of the others with their permission for your own reference or for your own use, or arriving at a conclusion. So that way, so you need to acknowledge them. So then table of contents should be there, of heads and subheads. So if you are preparing the financial statements, there should be heads and subheads. Even for the general report also, if at all important things are there, you should keep them as headings. And if at all sub points are there, you can keep them as subheads. That way table of contents must be there. Then we will go for list of illustrations. Whatever graphs, figures that you have taken, that means whatever the data that you have collected after analyzing, we may be presenting in the form of a graph or figure. Then abstract or summary. At the end, you should give an abstract or the summary of it. Sometimes the abstract can also be taken in the front page, because that is all about, it's like a kind of highlighting. So what all with what objective you went to the report, and how you gather the information, what is the information after analysis, what are the results of the say data and all that. If you are mentioning very briefly in the beginning of this and the report, that is an abstract. Or else you can write down in conclusion also, you can write the abstract, or you can call it as a summary, in fact. So that way you can prepare a business report. So what is a business report? You need to collect the data, then analyze the data, and then data presentation, then conclusion. So this way, first of all, you have to give a title, that means what is the report is all about. So what should be the title of the report? You must be very clear. So sometimes if you don't have a clarity on that, we may end up in we may not come to a right conclusion, and our report may not go in a right way. So what you are aimed at, that should be very clear in your mind when you are going with a clear cut mind, so that you can be picking up only the data related to it, instead of gathering all whatever comes in your way, or whatever you get. See, or sometimes we may take pains in collecting the data, but when it is not useful to the see your own aim of this report, then it's of no use. So all your efforts will go in vain. So that way you need to uh, see, first of all, draft and redraft your title. Then after title is finalized, then what all is required, that you have to identify, then gather the information or the facts, then analyze them, present them beautifully with graphs, figures, with headings, side headings, and highlights, and all that. This structure you can follow. Then the second section is the main body. So what is the body all about? So when it should be in introduction, that is background information about that particular thing. A methodology, what is the methodology that you have used in data collection, usually through questionnaires, or through references, or else some other modes of way we collect the data. So how you have collected the data, that is also important to mention. Then discussion. So what are the points that are there for your discussion, and for your analysis, and for interpretation of data? So whatever data that you have collected, after analysis you have to make a discussion though. So suppose one particular say item has come, that means one particular thing that you have identified, then you discuss on them, why it happened, so what is the background of it, what are the figures and facts about it. That way you have to interpret data after analysis of the data, isn't it? Or else you can sometimes present the analysis also in the form of a pie chart, or in the form of a bar graph, or whatever mode is convenient, whatever mode is relevant to it. That means how effective that you want to present that information is very, very important. Instead of writing paragraphs and paragraphs together, then giving an image is more worth. So that way, if you are writing in a pie chart, if you are giving a pie chart, that itself is enough, instead of writing 2 to 3 paragraphs, isn't it? So that way, more attractively, more precisely, more effectively, you can present your data. Then you can conclude, and also you can recommend. So what are the recommendations after careful examination analysis of the data? You might have come across certain interpret certain conclusions. So that conclusions, and at the same time recommendations, what you, so in order to get away from that situation, in order to improve the situation, what should be done, so that recommendations you can mention. And the last one is at the back of it, you should write the references and the appendices. That means what are all, suppose you have conducted a survey, the format of the survey you should add at the end, that is appendices, isn't it? So what is a reference? Reference means so where all that information was gathered, right? Or whatever you are quoting in the body, main body of the report. So regarding that, any reference is really needed for more information that can be added in the reference. So you are having a pre-part, that means the first part is talking purely about the title page, preface, acknowledgement, table of contents, list of instructions. See, this is the front page. Then the main body should be there, that is the real report. And at the back you will be giving it should be given with the sufficient references and appendices. So this is a major business format, and of course it all depends on the type of report, so whether you require all of them or not. Sometimes The report may be very brief. You need not write the back part, or you need not have more of them, isn't it? Anything can be flexible. It all depends on the context, and it all depends on the topic that you have chosen and the purpose that you are writing for. So that way, the report writing, these three steps you have to take care. Then what is the structure of a feasibility report? What is a feasibility report? Feasibility report is a report uh, the people wanted to know. Suppose if you want to establish some firm in one particular area, maybe some production that you want to do, see, on some product. So whether that is feasible to take up that project or not, they wanted to know. So in order to know that feasibility, they conduct a survey. They conduct some research on it, isn't it? So that survey or the research that you are making is a part of your feasibility report. If you want to establish something, you should go for whether the land is available, whether machinery is, what are other, what you call logistics are available. If at all we take up that product, whether that can be easily marketable, whether people are there, transportation is there. So several things are there for, say, establishing a business firm. So what are all required, where the primary requirements for establishment of certain thing. So we will go for the feasibility report. I just gave an example, not only that. So it's not just physical, but even launching some product, or even launching some of the software product also, there should be a feasibility report. That means they have to give a market study. So whether how far your say project is going to become a success there, and what are the threats, and what are the opportunities that you have. It's nothing but like the SWOT analysis. So that way the feasibility report will help the organizers, especially business people, whether to take up that project or not. So that way, feasibility reports are prepared, and the structure of the feasibility report is the same the structure that we have just talked about. But broadly, it should have introduction, it should have a body, and it should have a conclusion. So within that, what we will talk about is usually title page. Title page speaks about what is the title, and who has prepared and to whom it has prepared. So that is all about title page. And in acknowledgements, so where all you have gathered information, and how you did it, and who all helped you, that is acknowledgement. Then table of contents, that means what all things that you have identified or made a research on or a survey on, that should be the table of contents. Then give the list of illustrations. So your data can be presented in a illustrative manner. That means you have to give whatever you have identified in the form of facts and figures. Especially illustrations means either giving an example, or else you may be giving some graphical presentation of the data. So non-verbal presentation will also be there. So that way, list of illustration that you need to attach to it, that is a feasibility report. And of course, progress reports, we have some idea about progress report. So when something is in the process, every day you want to know about the progress. So that way, what was happened till yesterday, and what is happened till happened now or today, that you need to add to it. So that means progress report is nothing but already some work has started, or some activity is going on, and you are moving ahead with certain objectives, and uh, what you call certain goals. So when you are marching ahead with certain objectives and goals, then you have to see whether that objectives, whether we are really proceeding towards that objective or goal or not. So that is very, very essential. So the progress reports will be helpful to know that. So that way, again, in the preparation of progress report, you should follow the same procedure: the title page, acknowledgements, table of contents, and list of illustrations. And as I told you that if at all you want to have any acknowledgements in progress reports, you can, otherwise no. isn't it? So that is a general structure, and it all depends on how far they are useful to you. That way you can use them. And there are evaluation reports. That means you have already done something, conducted something, or something has taken place, and you are evaluating them. That means you are going for its quality, or sometimes it may be the quantity. So whether you are going for quality or quantity, so the evaluation takes place. That means it is a critical study. That means based on the fact that you have and the data already that you have, after your analysis you will come to certain findings. So that is an evaluation reports. So evaluation reports or feasibility reports, progress reports are the part of the business reports. So when you are doing a business, when you are into a business organization, you should thorough with them. So whether the report is asking about the progress, whether they're asking for a feasibility, whether they are asking for the evaluation, how good is our product and how good is our marketing, or how good is our say everyday activities. That way, the evaluation reports may be taking place. So sometimes evaluation reports will be say periodical, sometimes very regular, sometimes now and then, and sometimes whenever there is a need. So that way at any time whatever report is required, so all reports need to follow this procedure, and one must be very clear in mind in preparing the report. And of course the very purpose of preparing the report is to have a very clear idea, and also know the facts and figures. Based on the facts and figures, people can move, they may take decisions further, so that they may not incur losses and they may progress. So for the progress of a business firm, business organization, these reports are very vital. Then let us talk about some writing strategies. How do you write a report? So whenever the writing strategies are, as we have discussed so far, let me what you call see revise them, and moreover have want to throw some light on them. Define the purpose, as we were talking about. So what is the purpose of a report? That's very essential. So if you are not clear about the purpose of the report, then you are not going to do any activity there. So that means you may be doing some activity, but it may not be proper, isn't it? They may not be useful. So define your purpose. What purpose we are preparing the report? Then analyze the problem. You all the reports are about see data analysis. Majority of the reports are data analysis. So analyze the problem. If at all a problem is there, you analyze it, and what might be the reasons for. Suppose your sales have come down. So what might be the possible possible reasons for coming down of your sales? So there may be one, two, three, four. You have to jot down them, identify that parameters, conduct a survey on the parameters, then get the data, analyze it, so that you will come to know the real reason. What is the prime reason? Suppose there may be four or five reasons that you have identified. When you go to the people and collect information from them, and the data will speak you that maybe one or two problems will be more serious than the other, and more dominant than the other. So through your analysis, you have come to know that that problem is really need to be addressed very soon. So that way, you are in a way helping the management, helping your company, isn't it? So analysis of the problem will come. So this needs some exercise, because you need to know what exactly is the problem, and at the same time you should also expect what might be the reasons. Or else in your survey you may find out a different reason also. Sometimes if you are unable to see gaze that thing, then determine the scope of the report. So don't see give a very vast report. So what is the scope of the report? If at all your purpose is this, be confined to that purpose. Don't go beyond that. That means you have to determine the scope. I just want to know about this particular thing at this particular area with this particular people. That's all. You have to define your scope. And if you are going for privacy, going for see different scope, that means beyond your own purpose, is of no use. So your efforts will become futile. So understand the needs of the audience. So you should understand what purpose they are asking for the report. You just can't prepare a report for the sake of report. So you should understand what is the need of the audience. So for what purposes the uh, report is being asked, and how you are preparing that, whether your report is meeting the needs of the audience or not, that you have to question yourself. Then you need to gather, analyze and organize information. This is very, very important. This is what we do normally. We gather information, data collection, analysis and data presentation. Then before presenting it, make a first draft first. So you are making a rough draft, then edit the draft, revise and review wherever, whether you have presented all the facts in rightly or not, you have to revise and review. Then write the final see report. So that way, some exercise you need to do before finalizing the report. So the rough draft will help you to do some activity on it, so that after revising, reviewing, see presenting in a different way, then the final draft will come correct. So that way, report writing uh, is made. Then we have one more topic in our syllabus, that is media reports. What is a media report? You might have the experience of going through the news reports, either through electronic media or print media or digital media. If you look at the news, what will happen? They will be giving very catchy headlines, isn't it? So that catchy headlines will really attract us, so that we will go to read that particular thing. Even in the see televisions, even in the mass media, that is live media, the electronic media, we will find so many things so attractive, and they don't have an introduction. They just give you the see shocking news to us, or which are alarming, shocking, see eye-catchy presentation will be there. So that is the report of a media. Media reports are totally different from the reports that we have just discussed, because media reports are presented only for the people, isn't it? For a mass people, and not limited people, or for only particular people. It's not for just particular audience, but no, usually for a mass people. So in order to attract the attention of the mass people, there are certain ways. So these media reports are categorized into print media, electronic media, and a digital media. What all come under print media? In print media, you have newspapers and magazines. In electronic media, you have radio and television. In digital media, you have internet, the World Wide Web, and a smartphone. So now, digital media and electronic media is going, and even print media also, because for everything, most of the media reports are having the similar structure. So as I told you, that media reports are different. So what are media reports? Media reports are more essential elements first, then the supporting information at the last. That means very, very important element should be mentioned in the very beginning, then the supporting information will be given at the end. It is like a inverted pyramid. What is inverted pyramid? From top to bottom we will go, not bottom to top. So top to bottom we will go. What is that? We will give the climax or summary, lead the new information, or else why, what, where, and all that. That is given in the first. Then second part will come under body, details, and descending order. Then the last one is least important information or background information will be set at the last. In the pyramid, the majority of the portion is occupied with the climax, summary, and the lead that they write, or the new information that they may write, or they may also address the five W's. And in the second part, we'll be talking about the body. That means giving more details about the thing, and it must be in the descending order. And the last one is a brief information about it, or the background information will be given at the end. So that way the climax or summary or the lead is given lot of importance than the details and the background information. Usually that was the reverse in other reports, because we talk about the background, that basic information will give, background we will give, then we see take up certain things, then analyze, then at the end we will give the final results, isn't it? So unlike that, media reports are different. So all media reports are such. So how to write a media reports? Compose a catchy headline, and all media reports are catchy headlines. Why? If it is catchy only, people it can attract the reader's attention. So in order to attain say attract the reader's attention, the headings will be catchy. That means compose a catchy headline. It must be easier and prudent. Then the first paragraph will be a lead paragraph. Why lead paragraph? Because it is the leading the entire matter. So the lead paragraph it should be. It should have the essential information like 5Ws: who, what, when, where, and why. So with a lot of see surprise, with lot of see catchy thing they will present. Yeah, they may be presenting fact and figures later, integrated into a story and a narrative. So what they do is they move a story and a narrative, isn't it, to make it more interesting. And remaining paragraphs will be adding only the additional details. And after writing this, you need to double check for accuracy and facts whether you have really mentioned the right dates and the times and the name and all that, whether they are really whether they are really mentioned rightly or not. You need to check, because if you are giving a different date means different thing, and if you are giving a wrong name, we'll have a lot many problems. So accuracy of facts must be there, otherwise you may be prone to say legal actions, isn't it? So accuracy of facts, dates and the names, yeah, even spelling and grammar are also very important, because the reader should understand it in a right way. And here are some guidelines for preparing them. So when you are preparing say media reports, use a clear and simple language, because by employing the active verbs, you can make your see, point of view very clear. And if your language is simple, so that people can understand it very easily. If you are using more jargon, slang, and complex sentences, the more complex, the more jargon and slang that you have used, the more difficult for the reader to understand. So avoid them. And each paragraph should have one idea. This is really suggested that each paragraph should have one idea. If you are keeping all the ideas together in one paragraph, the readers may get a difficulty in understanding them, but it all depends. And be direct whenever you are writing a report. Be direct. They grasp. And why you should be direct? Because people should grasp information quickly when you are direct. So and give sufficient details. So if at all you have just created what you call a climax, but without giving sufficient details, then it may be put in some difficulty. So more particularly, what is the main aim is to catch the reader's attention. Then only people will go through your report. So these are the media reports. So reports, my dear friends, as I told you, that reports are very, very essential. All these we see every day, but how to write beautiful reports one need to practice, because this is a mode of communication that we have with the company or we have with the people. So this is the mode that you need to be see practiced well. So that way keep these things in your mind, practice well. So this is that's how we have come to an end. Thank you very much.